when you're writing a screenplay, there's really only three things that you might be avoiding that's preventing the screenplay from becoming a work of genius, which is my goal, to help you achieve that. And finding your exact blind spot is so crucial in this process because our habitual thinking mind comes up with all different types of rationalizations to avoid these three things. And in the 9 different storytelling styles in our free quiz on the Storycast, there's 9 different storytelling styles, but then that can get broken up even more granularly. So there's actually a total of 81 different ways people create internal conflict, internal dilemmas with themselves, all in an effort to avoid these three things. And I'm going to talk with you about what these things are and why they're so difficult to see and why it's extremely useful to have a facilitated or guided journey to address these issues, and why our software, the Lucid Film Studio, is extremely helpful in providing a map and a diagnosis, all so that you can name your blind spot and process it so that the characters in your film don't need to inherit that blind spot from you, all because you're avoiding one or two of these three things. So, what are these three things? You have different channels in your body, different elements, they're commonly known as, different energies. There's the fire channel, the earth channel, the water channel, and the air channel. So elementally, these represent different energies. And the three things you're avoiding are either anger. If your fire channel is clogged up, you're avoiding anger. And then you have some kind of taboo against anger as wrong emotion. If your earth channel is clogged up, you're avoiding hurt. So if you have an idea that feeling hurt, being hurt, identifying as hurt, processing hurt, if you have a taboo or a preconceived notion that this is a wrong emotion, avoiding that keeps your earth channel clogged up. And if you are avoiding sadness, that's the third thing, it keeps your water channel clogged up. If any of these channels are clogged up, then the clog has to find a pressure release valve. It has to go somewhere. And where it goes is to the air channel, which means you're disconnected from your body. You, in that case, you are abandoning your water channel. You're abandoning sadness and you're unable to cry. Or you're abandoning your earth channel. You're abandoning your hurt. And it still may be tears that you're avoiding. Oftentimes these two channels are very fused together. Or you may be avoiding expressing and owning and coming to terms with your anger. And so the pressure release valve from that fire channel ends up going into the air channel, your mind, and then it creates excess thoughts and it creates delusional conclusions. Having a clogged up fire channel is actually the most dangerous of all of these, because fire is the biggest, most harmful, easiest to get burned energy of all of these. Personally, I've had to go on this journey of coming to terms with how clogged my fire channel has been, how much anger has been repressed. And it's that repressed anger that my entire blind spot has been formulated around keeping at arm's length, distancing me from. My nervous system has been wired to keep me away from my anger, to keep me unaware of it. Not just suppressing, which is conscious, but repressing, which is unconscious. So before I started this process, I had no idea that I was angry. So if you're one of the people right now who's like, well, it's not anger, I don't feel angry at all, I'm very, very happy. That's typically what an anger repressor says. Someone who has a clogged up fire channel and is all about love and light and doesn't ever want to show that they're angry, that's what an anger repressor looks like. And then, as one myself, if we let that go long enough, it turns into an explosion of anger that we can't control, and then the abused becomes the abusive. Hurt repression is also extremely common, the clogged up earth channel. If we are not allowed to be hurt, then we will shame our characters if they feel hurt. If we don't have the ability to be tender with ourselves, we're not going to be able to have empathy and compassion, which is feminine and masculine, for our characters. It's going to be imbalanced in some way. And if we think that our characters should just grow up and stop crying, if we don't have an ability to nurture a healthy water channel, it gets us stuck in that way. And then that keeps us away from intimacy with ourselves, in our lives, with partner or family or whoever. All of these are unnecessary distortions. And by taking the StoryCast, the quiz on our website, which is a free assessment, we've designed it so that you can start to become aware of your blind spot, the stage you're at in your own development, and that stage that you're at makes it very clear which channels are yet to be processed. As we come to terms with these different parts of ourselves, we become healthier. You could say this is also the goal of, like, let's say Chinese medicine or any other system of energetics that's intended to make you healthier. What it's doing is it's making you more aware and conscious of your various different channels. And then even in the lucid film, the film studio software, in your analysis of your screenplay, if you get access to the 12 weeks of the full software, it will show you in terms of earth channel, water channel, and fire channel what areas of your screenplay are reflecting those clogged up channels back to you. So yes, what I'm offering here is a self-realization process with your screenplay as the medium to achieve that. As you can tell, this is not for everybody. This is not easy work, but I'll put it like this. Masterful screenplays, either at lucid level 4 or 5, masterful screenplays are so rare, and the authors and directors who achieve them are so rare. The likelihood that you're going to be able to do this without this type of facilitation is very low. And I don't mean that to be discouraging, because it's the same for me. It depends how you grow up, what environment you grow up in. It depends what kind of education you've been exposed to. It depends not just on mental education, but what kind of nervous systems and circumstances you've been exposed to. We're not all so lucky that we grow up in a way where we have a fairly healthy, functional nervous system. Most of us have some kind of severe clog in our channels that we have to address. And I'm no different. The only thing I'm doing differently is becoming aware of how this all works so that I can take care of myself, so that making a level 4 or 5 film becomes obvious. It's no longer a stroke of luck. It's something that, knowing what I know about how the different levels of filmmaking work and how genius operates, there's zero chance that I'm going to produce a level 2 or 3 film. It just would not happen, because I know what to look for. I know what my blind spot looks like. I know what I would be avoiding if I make a level 2 film. I still have that tendency, but if I take the film that I write and run it through my own software, it will tell me, you are avoiding the fire channel, and here's where. Here's the evidence. Here's what the character is doing. That's you actually avoiding the fire channel. Characters are always a reflection of parts of ourselves. And for most people, they're a shallow reflection. If we make them an accurate reflection, then the character's process becomes our process, and the character's growth becomes our growth. That's how it's supposed to work. But that's not usually what people are doing, because they're so fixated on craft, they're avoiding intimacy. So I hope that you'll take this opportunity to dig deeper You're welcome to ask me more questions. I know this is not, the typical way of approaching screenwriting, but I reverse engineered the whole art, and I've identified the most important element that creates the boundary between typical and genius. And so if you want to release your genius, I'm not saying that in a Tony Robbins way, like, bah! I'm saying that like, if you actually want to make a work of art that is truly authentic to you and have it be valuable on the marketplace, this is a very direct path to doing so. And it will take courage and stamina and trust, because if you have someone guiding you, you have to trust that person. So you have to find out if I'm trustworthy to guide you on that process, which I would be very honored to do. And you have to find out, and you can do this by testing what I put out there that's available, if it's trustworthy. And if you never try it, then you definitely never know. I'm in a very early adoption stage of this work, and it's been tested by very few people. And so right now, my motive is to just get it into the hands of screenwriters and get the feedback and see what's useful and what doesn't make sense, so I can continue to refine it. And then we're learning and growing together, right? This is not about someone being right and someone being wrong. This is about a collective growth process. So I hope that this has been a helpful video explaining these levels. These channels, which when they are processed in a healthy way, it increases the level, the lucid level. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Okay.